Good morning, pregame crew. It is Tuesday, CPI day, June 13th, 2023, 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to say it's CPI day, kind of like hump day, but I know I can't get that accent right. I don't know why I can't mimic accents, whatever. Well, it's no time to start griping about stuff. It's 6:21 a.m. We need to get this day started off right. We have CPI data in 9 minutes. I'm anticipating some volatility, and I got all my eyes on this. We are at the golden pocket of NASDAQ, and the golden pocket just means a 65% retrace from the all-time high that we reached in November of 21 to the low of November 22nd. So we have retraced 65% of that. If you're not familiar with fibs, the golden pocket is a typical area where we look for resistance. Now, are we just going to be looking short today? Absolutely not. We are going to be looking for longs, potential buyback, pullback longs, but we have to see how the CPI data shakes out. Let me say hello to my friends. Hey, Night Truck, Shake and Bake, Renaissance Man, Greg, Bennett, Casey, Mary, RJ, Sarana, Chris, Sir Fernando, Hey, Wave Trader, Homebody, Sam, Arain, Mal, thanks, Bob, Nick, Roger, B-Hawk, Tess, Basque. Hey, success is inevitable. I would love to see the faces behind these names and get to know y'all. I thrive on that. And it's kind of frustrating that I just get to know your names and a little bit of your personality. I can tell from what you type. I guess it's the nature of the beast. Hey, Leonardo and Derek. We have potential 4-hour bull flags on all the majors here. NASDAQ. RTY doesn't look as healthy on the 4-hour, but that daily has no problem whatsoever. ES potential 4-hour bull flag, NYM potential 4-hour bull flag. So we are looking bullish going into CPI data, and I have 2 points of concern. We have the daily RSI at 69. On the daily on ES. Now, RSI doesn't mean as much when we have data involved, and the CPI is extremely, if it's extremely lower than what they're expecting, then that's good news, and RSI could not come into play. NASDAQ RSI is at 73, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. We have bear divergence on the daily on NASDAQ, and we're at the golden pocket. So we'll see how this shakes out. Neither one of those data points are enough for me to short this market right here, right now. So let's go look at our levels so we can be ready. So ES is not quite at the 0.618 retrace. That's at 4426. So I'm going to take off these fibs. I'm going to focus on ES. And here are your levels. 438750 is your next support, 440250. To keep it simple, here's the levels, just really keeping it simple. Well, actually 4450, 4400, 4350. These are the levels I'm watching, but it doesn't matter as much the levels going in. It's the levels established on the reaction. What is the high? What is the low? So what we're going to do, as soon as it spikes high or spikes low, we then mark our levels, and then we wait for it to have a tightening range in the middle. Then how it breaks that tightening range and making a new high or a new low tells us a lot about how the market's perceiving the data. And if that went over your head because of my accent or the way I talk, rewind it. That's going to be the most important thing I say today. How we react, the high and the low, that's not as important. Mark them off. It's how we break out of that high and low once established, then that becomes the real reaction. All right. So I'm ready for anything. I'm open to all outcomes. And what if I told you in 5 minutes, the CPI reaction, that's not going to be the best trade that you have for the day? Some people are algos or they're they got really fast fingers, and that's going to be their best trade of the day. My best trade of the day is going to come from a tightening range coming out of this reaction. Okay, so don't act like you've got to push buttons, all right? Just observe. Get your levels, get more data. It's just like I've been watching poker this weekend. Every time we go to the mountains, there's no TV, good TV, and we don't want to log in with our Netflix stuff. And we end up watching poker. It's so funny. Again, I have just learned to play poker a year ago, so it's fascinating to me, but it's like you get another card. So just wait for more data. If you get to see another card, then it helps you more data you can put into your mental algorithm. Hey, Boogeyman. Hey, Train Man Dan and Michael. Hey, Hector and Nathan. Ott. And before you forget with all this shenanigans with CPI, hit that like button. We'll officially get started after CPI. I have all these beautiful notes that are off screen that are going to be trashed with CPI. And we have FOMC tomorrow. So we could have a crazy day today and then tomorrow have another crazy day. I do want to point out one thing on the CPI data. We're anticipating 4.1. So this is year over year. So we are dropping off last May's data. Last May's data was super high. So I'm expecting this number to be good because we're dropping off a really terrible data point. It's just like you weigh yourself for the last 13 months and you're say, okay, what's my average year over year? Well, if you can drop off your heaviest weight that very first month you started measuring, then your data looks better. That's what's going to happen with the May data today because we're dropping off last May, which was a terrible data point. So keep that in mind as well. So we have data in 2 minutes and 15 seconds and no shock, the table is all bull and this can get trashed from here to kingdom come once this data comes out. So we are ready for anything. Slow devil. Tell it no, YouTube. All right, so we're looking at these incremental psychological resistances, 4450, 4400, and then support 4350. And we will see how this goes. May the odds forever be in your favor. If you took that ZS short yesterday and you made bank, let me know. If you took the silver short yesterday and you made bank, let me know. I hope XLE short worked out for you. I know Lori, she took it and it worked out great for her. Okay, Mitch, let's write lines. You were tardy. Okay. I purposefully just shut down my my DOM where I trade futures because I don't want to be tempted at all to trade futures because I really want to be able to react later on tightening ranges. Hey, Manny. I see a lot of chart requests. I know y'all want me to go over charts and indices. I'm going to go over all of them. And let me shorthand all the charts. They're all, 99% of them are bullish. Semis look great this morning. As long as semis are leading, they are the fuel to the market's engine. I am bullish. However, this one data point in 30 and 42 seconds could change everything. So I stay open to all possibilities. So if you want to ask me about a chart, let me tell you, 90% of them out there are pretty darn bullish. At least the majors are. So let's see how this goes. Let me go to investing page. Okay, what you got? Five seconds. You made money on soy short. Awesome, Mal. Dave, I'll do my best. Just give me a second. Okay, it's coming in at 4.4%. That is on the low side, and that's what we want to see. This is a situation where good data is good news. So it's not like bad news is good news. This is good news. Fed interventions are working. So they will announce their hike decisions tomorrow. And there we are up at 440550. All right, your next resistance is not until 4455.50. 4455.50. I know y'all think I don't know the numbers are out, but remember, we're on a delay. So I'm talking about the data and it's not coming in real time to you. All right, well, let's unbox this and see what we can come up with for the day. We just hit overbought on ES. Your next resistance, I gave you that, 44.55. I've got NASDAQ pulled up on another screen and I'm just comparing this. So I'm going to look at the 1 minute. Okay, now we have our high and low of the initial reaction. I mark that off and then I see how we behave. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to move away from the CPI reaction itself and I'm going to move on to indices and we're going to work within the context that the charts give us. I'm going to give out levels. Folks, if we remain this bullish, then your job or your best setup on the day is going to be stair steps and back burner trades. If the market is screaming with its hair on fire, then we can't just jump in blindly. If you're already in, good job, and just keep moving up your stops. You can wait for stair step breaks. If you have a pullback and you wait for that break of the high of low bar, or you wait for first 5 minute oversold on a name that has been running hot like AVGO. All right, let me go to my notes. Hang Seng was up 6% overnight, 0.6%. DAX is up 0.15. So did we just confirm the 4-hour bull flag on ES and NASDAQ? Do we still have the daily bear divergence here? That's not what I want. Yeah, we still do. RSI hasn't made a higher high yet on NQ daily. I'll keep my eye on that. That doesn't mean I'll take a trade based off of it. Right now, we just stay bullish. Mary, you would have thought. I had somebody comment. So yesterday I asked y'all, what do you like most about the show? And someone said, you short too much. I can't short in my IRA. I wish you would cover more longs. I hope y'all know that I come in and my goal is to be as unbiased as possible and just, you know, give you trade setups that I see that I like. It's not like I'm trying to just find bear trade setups, or I would never go and just try to find bullish setups. Newer traders, for the most part, unless you're a negative Nancy, newer traders like bullish setups. They like to play long. And you're going to find newer, more inexperienced traders only feel comfortable trading long. My trading did not change till I started trading both ways. Trading to the upside and to the downside, and that really leveled up my trading when I could see the chart and be open to all scenarios. And a good example of this is XLE. Y'all, how long have I been a bear on XLE? I was a bear here, 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 and here. 4 days in a row, I've been a bear on XLE, and I'm flipping the switch today. I'm looking bullish. I ain't got no beef with XLE. It's not like I want to short it. I just want to make money. So today I'm looking bullish on XLE for a couple reasons. We are looking for a daily higher low, and we closed the gap yesterday. We hit $80 and gap fill was 80.08. So let me mark those levels off. Here we filled that gap and we're looking for a daily higher low relative to 78.24. So we're looking for a daily high or low. I didn't mean to put that low. It could be anywhere in here. We're looking for a daily high or low. And we're at the 21 EMA, and we have plenty of room for said high or low, and gap is filled. All right, now let's go to the oil chart. Are y'all sick of seeing this? I was a bear on oil here, 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 here. And we're now down at megaphone resistance. We have a double bottom at 66.80 yesterday, double bottom on the 4 hour, and we're bouncing, making enough room for a higher low. So now oil is at a trendline support, megaphone support with a 4 hour double bottom at 66.80. And if you don't trade oil enough, I need you to know that 67.03 and 68.80, that's essentially a double bottom for oil. So I'm treating it as such, and I'm treating it looking for this 4 hour higher low. So with that in mind, now I look bullish on XLE, and it's already bouncing, you little doo-doo head. So I'll look for a pullback buy on XLE, but that's a perfect example of staying bearish 4 or 5 days and just staying with what the chart gives you. And then when you wake up the next day, flipping the script because things have changed. Okay. I have so many side conversations in my head that come up, and then I have to like push them down because I want to stay on topic. I guess I do want to cover this. So staying with the poker theme, I was watching poker this weekend again, and I saw this guy. He played aggressive, and he played almost every hand. And as y'all know, the Annie Duke book that I've quoted many times before, Thinking in Bets, she says professional pokers play about 10% of the hands they're dealt. You should only play 10% of the hands you are dealt. So if you see, let's say, 20 setups on the day, in theory, you should be trading about 2 of those. You should not trade every setup you see because not every setup is of high quality. So XLE and that oil one, I stacked those data points to show you why I was looking bullish on XLE. That is a higher conviction trade. Let me show you another high conviction trade that is the equivalent of being handed 2 aces. Where you get I don't know all the terminology, but when you get handed that initial 2 cards and you look at it and you say, this is a really good hand, I'm not going to fold. Caterpillar yesterday was someone handed me 2 aces. I was staring at this chart because XLI was going nuts at the time. And we had this beautiful 15-minute EQ. I went to the chat room to post it, and someone else already posted, which I was appreciative of. Let me show you. We got some smart people up in our chat. Chandler, yesterday, this is in our general chat, 15-minute equilibrium getting tight. And this is 20 hours ago. I said, I'm leaning bull. BA is ripping, and XLI is at high of day. It's holding 50 RSI and 15-minute EMAs, testing resistance here. This is an ideal setup for me. This is 2 aces because I've got my correlations. I've got the higher sector, the mother sector, leading bull while this one is going sideways. And y'all know my monkey backpack analogy, like Caterpillar got the monkey backpack leash slapped on its back yesterday and says, you're coming with the party. So y'all see this tightening range. And if you're new to the pregame show, you're like, what is this woman droning on about? My goal is to not only give you setups, but to also teach you trading setups. So this was posted right around here. We were in this tightening range. So let me post, it was posted at 10:39:01 yesterday. 10:39:01. So what was going on at 10:40 right here? He posted it here on this inside candle. That's a beautiful chart. Now let's go look at XLI, and you can see why this was 2 aces. XLI This was its candle. It was at high of day. And we know Caterpillar is part of industrials. And then a counterpart, BA, ripping. Absolutely ripping. This was BA's candle at the time. So you got your cousins, they are getting on that roller coaster, and your grandma says, you're getting on the roller coaster too. You can't stand here by yourself. That's what happened to Caterpillar yesterday. That is two aces. And I encourage y'all to look for setups. And it doesn't have to be this particular setup, but where the data points stack in your favor, and keep adding to that high conviction trade setup and take those. You don't just start with, now let me show you someone handing me a 2-4 offsuit or 2-6 offsuit. I don't know what a terrible hand is, but that sounds pretty bad. This is a terrible hand. Right now, the only data point I have is we're at the golden pocket retrace on NASDAQ, and we have bearish divergence. That's not a reason to short NASDAQ. That's a 2 and a 6. Okay? And if you don't know poker, I apologize if I went over that and beat the analogy to death, but I really want to drive home high conviction setups. And I want y'all to know I do this for my benefit just as much as yours, because this is me beating into my own head. Wait for your aces, wait for your high conviction setups, and don't take every setup you see. 2 and 7 is the worst. Okay, because then they can't be a straight. Okay, I think I got that. You're welcome, Mal. Good job. All right, so horse is dead. So I actually wrote in my notes, and I don't mind showing y'all my notes today. I typically reserve these for TCG members only, but they're so bad because of CPI kind of messing stuff up. You know, CPI is ready to tear these setups to pieces. But right here, I had this type not positioned well for any bearishness, and then I went back and I deleted it. I'm like, wait, let me go to a higher time frame and let me show you. So ES and NASDAQ, I'm focused on 4 hour and hourly, and then RTY, I'm like, wow, that 4 hour is not as bullish as those other ones. But what's wrong with that daily chart? Absolutely nothing. And that's a daily bull flag. So I went and I literally ate my words. I erased them. RTY looks absolutely fine. Dow looks finer than fine. Let's see. It's holding the hourly EMAs. It's giving up a little bit of the initial reaction, but there ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, we're turning and burning here. VIX is dropping because obviously fear is leaving the market. And this is one day into itself where we may spike and then go sideways all day as we wait for FOMC tomorrow. So just remind yourself of all scenarios that could happen and just trade what you see, not what you anticipate. Trade what you see. Hey, card lady. Okay. Bitcoin has been looking bullish. It's pulling back right now. Let's see if that's a potential tell. It's a pretty big pullback on Bitcoin. Bitcoin had been looking bullish. It's giving a lot back here. 2608474 is your support, and resistance is 26435. That is really what's going on. Kind of shocking, actually. Okay, I'm going to put this in my hat here. I'm going to highlight Bitcoin because I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. This is something that stands out, and I'm just going to uncheck that. Well, actually, I'm going to leave it checked. But something's diverging here for bonds. Is it the excuse me, on Bitcoin? Is it the dollar? No, dollar's weak. So I just don't want to lose that data point. So if I do something quirky like highlight it or I write it down in my notes, keep in mind Bitcoin, because this is standing out and diverging different from everything else. It should be having fun with the rest of the party. This is interesting. It's not game over for bulls yet, but it's not how you want to give back all these gains. 26084 and 26080 are double bottoms. Okay. Ethereum, same thing, weak. And if I stop speaking, I'm usually checking the other. I have 3 chat rooms right now: TradingView, Slack, and YouTube, and I get messages on all 3 while I'm live. So if I just stop talking, I'm just trying to catch up with chat and make sure everything's still working well. Yep. So bears will be looking for a 5-minute lower high on Bitcoin and Ethereum with the size of this pullback. Gold, that's a nice bounce. I would have expected a little more with this dollar weakness. The prisoner guard left the door open and gold is not making a run for it. This is the prisoner guard leaving the door wide open and falling asleep, and gold stays in the prison. This is odd as well. 1985.90 is your resistance, and you just hit a strong resistance here. That's a 1, 2, 3. That's a quadruple top with that 21 EMA overhead. Gold isn't faring well, but I don't think that bears can keep gold down if dollar's going to continue to plummet. That'll be interesting to see if that happens. Okay, oil has API estimates after hours at 4:30 Eastern. They had some OPEC news this morning. I didn't think anything was earth-shattering. I truly think we're just bouncing from that 4-hour double bottom, this megaphone area. We'll see. I don't want to buy XLE on a gap up. I want to pull back buy, so just know that. I'm not going over nat gas because I'm a grown woman and I don't have to. Apple did not hit an all-time high yesterday. It came close. 184.95 is your resistance, and it hit 183.89. And we did the math on this one yesterday, didn't we? And we said it pulled back 50% and a lower high wasn't guaranteed, or a higher high. Bulls just kind of left it up in the air with the size of that retracement, and I still stand behind that. But if the market's screaming higher, I would assume, and we know what that word means, but I would assume Apple would get an all-time high. Strong dollar is typically bearish for the market, but they don't always go one-to-one. FOMC is absolutely more important than CPI, but you have to understand how they're interconnected. If CPI would have been bearish today, meaning much higher than anticipated, then FOMC may change their decision or something. So just know that they're interconnected, but FOMC is more important. Success is inevitable. You are such a great contributor that I'm just going to stop and take your request. Daily bull flag. 52-week high. Is that an all-time high? No, 52-week high. Ain't nothing wrong with that chart. Good volume. Holding the daily 8 EMA. I would have much rather been a buyer over here than I would be up here. Nothing wrong with the chart. I'd wait for back burners to trade. 5, 15-minute oversold. Okay, so Apple, we went over that. Amazon, 128.48. We're gapping up. When a chart shows you who they are, believe them. So we're gapping up. Let's mark off the high of yesterday before I get off the daily. So how do you handle this gap? If Amazon comes back and does not fill the gap or barely fills the gap and bounces, that is an entry signal right there, and you put your stop below the low. The inability to fill gaps is super bullish. When we go back into that gap range and we kind of linger and stay and marinate in yesterday's range, that is bearish. And then the next bounce, you look for a top fish. So let's see how Amazon holds this gap. I'm going to put this right here. I did not change my tickers yet, so I'm going to watch how Amazon handles this gap and see how it goes into the open. Nvidia gapping up. Ain't no problems here. Ain't no sunshine when you're gone. 4-hour chart healthy with a squeeze. Okay. Whew. I just determined what... That's what I'm going to trade today. NVDA long. That looks gorgeous. This is what I call a trampoline move. You see how we just barely dip below the 50 RSI? You see that squeeze? You see declining bear volume on this sideways consolidation? Do y'all see all of those facts? I'm keeping silent for reverence for this chart. This is beautiful. Does it mean it'll work? No, not at all. We don't know who's on the other side of the buttons. But by golly, I'm going to trade this sucker. Gap at 395.30. We'll see how it acts. If I can get a stair step, that would be ideal. And if you don't know what stair step is, Google stair step chart, guys, and you can find the YouTube video. So I'm going to draw it out for you. I try to do this at least once a month for newer audience members that don't know what I'm talking about. A stair step is when you have a pullback or it's a run up. And it's 5 or 6, but I'm just doing this for speed. Let's pretend like these are the candles. And then you enter on the break of the high of the low bar and you put your stop below the low. This would be the ideal setup on either the 1, 2, or 5 minute on NVIDIA at open. This would be ideal. And I need the market to also be going up as well, or to at least be staying strong. Gap up means that you're gapping up above the high of yesterday. NVIDIA's high, so yesterday, June 12th, if you look down here, the high was $395.30. And we're right now in pre-market, $400. We're gapping up almost $6 above yesterday's high. That is bullish. We have gap and go scenarios and gap and crap scenarios where you give it all back, where bears give it back at open. And let's see what happens today. I really like this chart. It's my favorite of the day. So I'll see how the gap is treated on Amazon, NVIDIA, Tesla. Gap up, gap up, gap up. You have a gap overhead at 262.47. Not saying it's going to fill, but it could. And I don't mess around with these types of squeezes to the short side. We'll see how bulls handle this. You can treat this Tesla chart with the same thing I said for Amazon and NVIDIA. AVGO. There's a reason go is in the name of AVGO, because all it does is want to go. We do have a resistance up here that's unfortunate, pretty high up there, 921.78, but it's not daunting to these bulls at all. I would look for a 5 minute or a first 15 minute oversold. I think 5 minute would be adequate on this one. This thing is just so beautiful. Mara may not be in play if Bitcoin's going to remain kind of weirdishly weak. So we'll see how this goes. Looking for a daily higher low on MARA. We have a double bottom at 929.17. You could look for a pullback long and possibly use 945 as an aggressive stop or conservative stop. 933 is an aggressive stop. Wait for a potential pullback buy. We are getting some upper wicks on these pre-market candles. Be careful with this setup now after what we just watched in Bitcoin. I must be excited about NVDA because my leg is shaking. Like, do you bounce your leg when you get excited? Like, I'm bouncing my knee. You know how you put a kid on your knee and it's giddy up, horsey, go, go, go? That's what I'm doing to NVIDIA right now. Giddy up, horsey, go, go, go. Weekly bull flag is confirmed right now in pre-market, gapping up. Gap rules apply. It's on back burner watch, meaning first 5 minute oversold. XLE I hope Nuggets in here. Lori C took this yesterday. I posted in chat. Here we go. XLE. Reverse back burner. It was in a downtrend on higher time frames. Got 5-minute overbought and boom. Worked perfectly. But now I'm flipping the script. I'm looking for a pullback buy in XLE. I would say that the first 30 minutes, Paul. So if a gap is not filled in the first 30 minutes, that tells you a lot about the strength of the chart. JFB, I would say 1 or 2 minutes, probably 2 minute. All right. AMD could be a back burner trade for you as well. Very strong yesterday. NIO. We have a daily inside bar. We need to get over 875, which we're up here testing it now, and then 885. I was looking at this for long, and I'm like, well, shoot. That's a potential megaphone. I don't want to get caught in a higher high without follow-through scenario. But these Neo Bulls are kind of getting a pep in their step. Thank you, Renaissance Man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Serrana, for that information. AMD has news today. It's 6:57. I'm going to wrap this up. All right. Don't get stuck in some stubborn shorts, Buttercup. I had to rhyme with wrap this up. Y'all don't get stuck in stubborn shorts. Stay with the trend and give the market a little time to digest. Remember, retail traders open the market and the professionals close the market. So what we see at open may not be the real deal. So let's just give it some time to digest, and your best setups haven't happened yet today. Maybe they already have, but the majority of you, probability favors that the best setup for you and your 2 ace card hand, whatever you call that, has not happened yet. Wait for it. All right, y'all, you stop losses.